What is up? But that rarely happens. I pressed go live and it just pushed us live immediately here on through StreamYard. That almost never happens. It usually takes about a minute. But hey guys, it is time for the final live before lock of the week heading into the weekend. It is Friday. We've got a massive slate tonight. It is hot as balls where Eric is. So he's going to be dealing with that over the course of the show. What'd you say? It's like 105 degrees in LA.
Yeah, it's in the valley. It's 104 to be exact, and it's going to be like 92 at first pitch of the Dodger game. I mean, it is just egregious out here today. You walk outside and you are immediately dead. I mean, the other part is that there's no wind, so it's probably more of like 98 if we're being honest, but like it is the hottest day of the year I can remember, period, end of story.
Well, on a positive side, that's really all the weather there is to talk about for tonight's baseball slate. There is no clouds in the sky. There is not even a chance of rain in the forecast for any of these games. So all we're really going to have to do is figure out who the hell it is that we want to roster, because on top, Eric, of there not really being weather concerns with the amount of games there are on the slate, there isn't that much pronounced chalk. So if you guys see, as far as pitcher goes, there is Skubal. He is the one massive piece of chalk on the slate. So I should maybe amend what I said before, because there is that one piece of chalk with that said I'm so confident in wanting to play him that I don't even really consider it that much of a decision point. And then beyond him, we don't have any other remotely popular pitchers. Nobody's over 20% owned. The only other pitcher who is even over 15% owned is Zack. And the next most popular pitcher beyond him, it's Hunter Brown at 12% ownership. And then if you go ahead and look at some of our stack odds, so I'll refresh this page. Yeah, so as far as ownership goes for stacks, there's only two offenses pulling more than 5% ownership. That's a 6% owned Athletics and a 7% owned Arizona Diamondbacks against Austin Gomber. So, Eric, I think this is one of these slates where just like, what do you like the best? And then you go ahead and play that, and you hope that what you think is going to be better is better than what other people think is going to be better, because there's no real ownership concerns here other than this one talking point here on Skubal. Skubal, 47% owned. He's showing up at 81% of the sims. If you gave me a choice, Eric, I either had to fade a Skubal who's in nearly half the field's lineups or play him at 100%. It's pretty clearly going to be the 100% mark for me. Our sims are putting him in 81% of the top 150 lineups without making any kind of adjustments. I think he's the easiest click on the entire slate.
Tarek's a bad man. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, it's fun to do a bit that is normally my name. But anyway, Skubal is just ridiculous. This guy is dumb. He is so stupid. In fact, the craziest part of my morning was waking up and seeing Pick 6 with discounted squares. There are 4 discounted squares on Pick 6, which obviously they're the lovely sponsor here, Best Ball. You want to be checking it out. $20 Best Ball lineup, $15 million up top for him. Definitely want to be jumping into the Best Ball streets, but his discount is from 9.5 to 7.5 on Pick'em today. What? Like, I paid more on all of those. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing that I've seen. I mean, I know we had some Garrett Crochet ones at the beginning of the year, but obviously those have come down because we had talked through why they were going to come down throughout the year. So hopefully you took advantage of that in April and such, because 8.5, 9.5 for him was ridiculous. But these are earned ridiculous projections, and he's going to live up to them a majority of the time. I have his fair odds at over 7.5 strikeouts at -320, Greg. I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, and a lot of books have him at 9.5 as the strikeout prop for today. You look at his numbers overall for the year: 2.18 ERA, 2.43 expected ERA, 1.95 FIP, and then a 34% strikeout rate. Oh, by the way, a pretty decent matchup against the Los Angeles Angels today as well. Really easy no-brainer in cash games and tournaments. I think you just play him and play whatever the hell else you decide you like as well. But he's the best option on the slate by a mile.
We have a 15-game slate, or a 14-game slate for the main slate, but 15 games going today. He has nearly a 2-WAR difference between him and Christopher Sanchez, who's second.
It's a big gap. Big gap. How about if we call him T-Eric?
T-Eric, yeah. Well, we need more Erics around here. We got fucking Eric McPherson. We got Eric. I mean, we have so many Erics coming out of the woodworks here at Stokastic. I mean, we just keep multiplying everywhere. So it's good to have a Tarek in the world.
And one of your favorites, not on the slate, but Eric Fetty. He's somebody else
Oh,
that's in
yeah.
the MLB space. Let's see. Are there any
It makes me
other?
want to run.
I'm just thinking, are there any? Yeah, no other Erics for pitching options today. I don't think. Yeah, no other ones. No other ones.
Sad.
We just have
There was
T.
Eric Cole. Eric Cole didn't play this week, did he? At Southwind? I don't think so.
I don't think he's qualified.
I don't think so either.
Let me check.
Loser.
I'm pretty sure he isn't.
Erics are all losers too. Thought I'd throw that out there.
Also true. More facts. More facts. Facts on facts on facts. So, all right, Skubal is the pretty obvious choice at the high end. I can't even really advocate as anybody else as a pivot option off of him. But we can talk about is if you wanted to pay up for a pitcher who is not Skubal, who is it you want to go to? Is it Brandon Woodruff? Is it Hunter Brown, Christopher Sanchez, Nick Pivetta, Joe Ryan? These pitchers are all pretty comparably owned. They're all 7 to 12% owned. So is there anybody that you think stands out amongst the rest of the other pay up options? And once again, talking about the guys who are priced underneath Skubal but are $9,000 plus.
It's got to be Hunter Brown. I mean, I talked about it a little bit last night on the betting show. I ended up playing some pick'em slips with under 2.5 earned runs for him. I thought that made some sense against the Yankees. Kind of a traditionally scary matchup, but that's going to have a little bit of closing line value. When you look at it, got ripped off of a couple of pick'em sites here as well. Underdog had it. Now it does not. That's magic. But Hunter Brown here against the Yankees, you're going to find strikeouts. Like, you go up and down this lineup, you build out your models, you build out whatever you want to here. This Yankee team, as potent as it can be at times, and it hasn't been potent recently, but I think they'll be a little bit better here at home. It's just a great strikeout matchup for Hunter Brown. And Brandon Woodruff, I am backing here from a betting perspective. I like Milwaukee to win against the Mets, but that has a lot to do with the bats that are alive, a lot to do with the bullpen discrepancies, and the Mets not really improving in that department. And I really don't like getting to Hunter Brown. I don't want to really dip into the 9K range till we start talking about it, but like amongst these three, it is very, 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 very clearly Tarek Skubal. And then Hunter Brown, I'm going to be mixing into quite a few lineups where I'm just going cheap stacks.
Yeah, so what is kind of hard is that you and I are both prioritizing Skubal to such a degree that it's just hard to really build lineups where it's like, Skubal and Hunter Brown, having them in the same lineup. There's an opportunity cost there. I do want to shout out Christopher Sanchez, though. The Rangers have not been terrific.
It's my guy
against the left-hand pitchers. And then also you look at Sanchez's numbers for the year. I almost think they don't do him justice because he's very clearly improved as the season's gone on as well. Because while he was very, very good last year, he's legitimately one of the best pitchers in the National League and has added more strikeout stuff as the season's gone on as well. 26% strikeout rate for Christopher Sanchez this year, up from his 20.5% strikeout rate last year. And then also you look at just the month-over-month improvements that he's made. So here's what we have by month. March and April, 3.62 FIP. May, 3.11 FIP. June, this is where he starts to really become, like, he goes from being a top-end rotation pitcher to a true Cy Young sort of ace pitcher once you get into June, where he had a 2.26 ERA, 2.26 FIP. Then you get into July, 2.62 FIP. And now in August, 1.98 FIP. Obviously, that only encompasses one start, but also you're looking at a pitcher who, like I said, in previous years, was a guy who was really good, but kind of pitched to contact a little bit. And now he's taken the next step and has become a strikeout pitcher as well. I think Christopher Sanchez, outside of Skubal, is the best pitcher on the slate. I think he's better than Hunter Brown. Like, in terms of actual talent at this point, I think he's better than Hunter Brown, better than Woodruff. I think he's better than Pivetta. I think he's better than Joe Ryan. The price point at $9,800 is also a little bit cheaper than Hunter Brown's. And also, I like the matchup against the Rangers better than Hunter Brown's matchup against the Yankees, especially when you consider that Hunter Brown is pitching in New York, and we know how hitter-friendly Yankee Stadium is. So, not that I have an issue with Hunter Brown. I just prefer Sanchez a little bit more.
As do I. And again, I like that we're seeing it the same way. And we're going to see, I mean, look at the Sims. It's nearly a 20% discrepancy. I broke him down a lot the last few weeks. I've played this 4 times and cashed it all 4 in the course of the last month. Christopher Sanchez over 18.5 outs is just a cheat code. It's been a cheat code for a while. It is +1, nearly +150 that you can get. I posted some north of +150, didn't get picked up. Got some +146, +148. This guy's been a machine. He just goes deep into games. As you said, his strikeout stuff is improved. And Arlington is a great ballpark to be pitching in. It's also a great spot for Christopher Sanchez to just stay on a roll. And despite the fact that he's gone 6 2/3 and 8 innings his last two, he's only gone 88 and 84 pitches setting up Duran. Like, Duran is such a good closer, and I know this because obviously, shout out Minnesota Twins. He's my favorite pitcher of the Minnesota Twins by far. And of course, no longer with the team. Griffin Jax is probably close to number 2. But either way, I look at everything Christopher Sanchez has done, and it's a cheat code. And I don't remember many bets that continue to be plus money that have, I'm not a big like last 7 in the last 8 times. He's gone over 6 innings in 9 of his last 10 outings, Greg. That's absurd. And we're getting plus 150 nearly on every book to be able to back him. So I love the idea of mixing him in tournaments. I don't find Texas to be all that imposing of an offense. Mm-hmm. And the amount of ability that Christopher Sanchez has relative to anybody else that exists in this 9K range, like Pavetta is so prone to blow-ups. That's not Christopher Sanchez. So you have a high floor with him. Matt Boyd has no strikeout potential. Joe Ryan has no upside in terms of pitch count. Like, what are we doing here? It's Christopher Sanchez by a mile.
Also, Eric had brought up some betting there. Also want to shout out that we do have our Tails expert picks feed, which you guys get access to Tails totally for free. Like, there are paid packages like Eric's that I do recommend you get into. But if you just want to check out Tails for the first time, we have our expert picks feed. You can make an account once again, totally for free. You could curate your own timeline by following the people you want to follow. Lofty and I are posting bets into here. Let's see. Where's the bet that I posted recently? Hey, look, here's a bet that Eric had posted for free as well. And then if you scroll down somewhere, I know I had posted. There's another one from Eric. Yeah, here's one that I'd posted on the Patriots Commanders game as well. So go get on Tails. You could pay for Eric's package. You could also get access to some free bets from over there. And then we've also got our search features. So if you're looking specifically for NFL bets or NBA bets, you could always sort just by NFL, just by NBA. And yeah, really looking forward to growing that out come football and basketball season. Hopefully we get a lot of people who are over there posting both paid as well as free picks. And we can really grow that out as, you know, like a really cool social media platform that's going to be specific to betting. Not going to have to deal with, you know, like the bots and whatnot that exist on Twitter. You could just go over details and find bets and find the bets that you are looking for. And once again, totally for free. Steven Leibowitz, you could pay for Eric's package. Yes, it depends exactly what it is you're looking for. There is the regular package. There is the VIP package, as Eric calls it. That one includes all kinds of pictures, videos, and customs. But yeah, go sign up. Check in. What's the price point on your package again, Eric?
Promo code 7, as in the 7 inches you get.
There you go. A little bit generous. Somebody used the other side of the ruler for that one. But yeah, guys, go check out go check out Eric's Tails package and everything else that we're doing over on Tails. So let's talk about pitching, and we talked about some of the pay-up options that we're liking here in the 9K range. How about the 8K range? That has got guys like Kodai Senga, Matt Boyd, Merrill Kelly, who is now on the Texas Rangers in a very difficult matchup against the Philadelphia Phillies. You got Seth Lugo, Edward Cabrera, Luis Castillo, Zack Gallen. I know there's one guy who stands out to me a whole bunch. Who do you like the most in the 8K range?
By a mile, Zack Gallen. There's nobody else that I really care about playing. I probably am going to end up playing Matt Boyd over 17.5 outs. It's probably going to be some addition to the card later. Coming down. I got to get some action picked up. For whatever reason, nobody is picking up anything that I am posting today on NoVig, ProfitX, anywhere. So just kind of waiting to be able to fire everything there. We've got Edward Cabrera, where I like the strikeout stuff. I don't really think he's all that necessary. Luis Castillo, not all that necessary. Here's the thing you have to think about today. And I think this is probably the most important talking point. Skubal has a 1.5 earned runs prop, and it's juiced towards the under. And he has a 9.5 strikeout prop. That is a pitcher that's showing up in like 75-80% of your lineups guaranteed no matter what. So when you're putting the other pitchers together, you're not going to have more than like 120% of total ownership left to pass around. So they better have some fucking upside. And Zack Gallen, because of the matchup against Colorado, has that upside. This is a pitcher's park when the roof is closed like it is today, and it is all summer in Arizona. And you have such a great opportunity here for Gallen to just kind of like put the foot on the gas and be able to find a lot of strikeouts in this lineup. Like, I had entertained his unders earlier today. They probably aren't going to show up when it's all said and done, but like, there's just no denying anybody who's facing Colorado with a pulse outside of Coors Field just has to be like the chalk of whatever range you're looking at. And Zack Allen's better than most. He's not Merrill Kelly, which again, why is Merrill Kelly the guy who ended up getting moved? I don't really know, but Zack Allen's definitely one of my guys. It hasn't really been so this year, but I think this is just a phenomenal spot for him.
Yeah, I mean, the Colorado Rockies, what offense is weaker than theirs? I know some people might look at the results overall for Gallen against the Rockies this year, and yeah, they've been pretty poor. I don't put that much stock into two outings. One of them also came in Colorado, which is way different than pitching at home in Arizona. He did have another outing in Arizona against the Rockies, which didn't really go spectacularly. Back in May, it was May 17th, pitched 5 innings, had 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. He got 4 homers to the Rockies, which seemingly should be impossible outside of Coors Field. But, you know, those 2 starts aside, Zack Allen is still a pitcher who brings straight. He's having a terrible season, Zack Allen, but he brings strikeout upside to the table, and he's facing this just terrible Colorado Rockies offense. I feel pretty strongly about this, Eric. If we did nothing all year, nothing, this was just our base strategy. Every slate, we rostered pitchers against the Rockies and stacked against them. I think that blindly would have profited the season to this point.
Yep. There's some spots where I'm really mad at myself because the Sims have given us tons of them. This has been a spot the Sims have been on all year long, like without fail. Their projections on these pitchers have been better than everybody in the range. Like, look at it. Look at it on the screen. Nearly 17 for Gallen. The next time you get up to 17 is at 9,500 for Pivetta. That's a $1,500 savings that you're getting here by going to a pitcher there in Gallen who, again, you look at his service numbers. There's times this year, Greg, I think, not that you've completely said he's broken, but like, have you been inspired by anything you've seen from Zack Allen this year? No, but he projects for nearly 17 fantasy points because he faces the Colorado Rockies.
Brian Bayo had 7 strikeouts through 25.
He had a complete game shutout.
I'm exaggerating a little bit. I don't remember exactly.
No, you're not exaggerating. You're actually not doing it enough justice. He had double-digit strikeouts, complete game shutout against the Colorado Rockies. That's the extreme side, but that's kind of what we're talking about. A sub 20% strikeout guy who induces ground balls, but does nothing else well whatsoever, put up 40. So cool. That's neat.
Anything else in the 8K range that you want to talk about for any kind of reason here?
No.
Okay, so I am going to shout out Edward Cabrera. Cabrera is just 4% owned at $8,200. He is facing the Atlanta Braves, and this has been a fantastic year for Edward Cabrera. 3.24 ERA, 3.82 expected ERA, 3.68 FIP. He still at times has control issues, but he's really considerably improved in this area over the last couple of seasons. In 2023, Edward Cabrera had a 15% walk rate. In 2024, Edward Cabrera had a 12% walk rate. It is now down to a career best 8% walk rate this year. So just being able to throw a little bit more strikes, he has really changed how effective he is. It's come a little bit at the expense of strikeout upside, but he's still striking out 25% of the hitters he faces. It's not like the 28% mark that he had at one point in time. But I really like what I've seen out of Cabrera so far this year. And then also when it comes to the walks, I remember looking at this probably a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Edward Cabrera had a stretch of 2 years where he'd walked at least one hitter in every single start. And then he went 3 starts in a row with 0 walks. So he is actually finding ways to keep the ball in the strike zone. That's enabled him to do things like over the last month and a half, 7 innings against the Twins, 7 innings against the Brewers, 6 innings against the Yankees, 6 innings against the Cardinals. It used to be nearly impossible to get him further than 5 innings into the game because of how inefficient he was with his pitch counts. I think that he is somebody who's being slept on a little bit here. So if I had to roster a more contrarian guy in the 8K range, I'll go with Edward Cabrera here, Eric.
I've been circling him. I've been looking at him. Again, the word I used was not necessary, or the 2 words I used was not necessary. I just think Gallen has far more upside still. 5.5 juice towards the over there. And no Sean Murphy in the lineup for Atlanta. I think those are the two big things for me. Like Sean Murphy's been a real nice padding to a lot of people where he's batting fifth, batting sixth. You get him in the mix, even with Drake Baldwin in lineups, and you get a bunch of strikeouts from him. But with just Baldwin in there today, it's not nearly as appealing. I mean, Nacho Alvarez and Nick Allen pretty weak down towards the bottom, but outside of Matt Olson, this team doesn't really strike out a lot in its current iteration. Eli White back to seventh. I was hoping maybe there was a chance they were going to have him keep leading off, but seems like something they'll just do in like certain platoon spots. Profar, obviously switch hitter, so he can get the platoon no matter what, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like he's all that necessary. And Zack Gallen's just kind of absorbing it. I guess for me, I just love Sanchez. We gave him the shout out there. Even though the Sims aren't getting to him a ton, the depth that he's getting into these games is just ridiculous. The strikeout stuff is so improved and he's so efficient. He doesn't beat himself. I really like this slate specifically with no Coors Field, with, a number of different ways we can play the offense game, paying up for pitching. So like Hunter Brown, Christopher Sanchez, and a ton of Skubal is just kind of the way that I'm going about it. And then if I have to go cheaper, because of how popular I expect Zack Gallen to be, I'm happy just kind of eating that chalk.
So let's talk about the 7K range at pitcher where we got a Legends matchup. Clayton Kershaw pitching against Max Scherzer. I know you said you had tickets to the game, but you're on the fence about going considering it's 105 degrees where you're at right now. But is there anything else in the 7K range or anybody in the 7K range that's really standing out to you? Everybody that we're talking about on the slate from here on out is going to be massively contrarian, not just at pitcher, but kind of at offense as well, because there's no chalky offenses. Anything that stands out to you in the 7K range at pitcher?
I think Cam Schlitler is at least interesting. Houston brings a ton of righties up to the plate. That's something we kind of see all the time. And it's not as appealing now that Jesus Sanchez is up there. But you get Christian Walker still batting, fifth today? You get Trammell, you get Cam Smith. Like, there's still three guys in there that strike out an absolute metric ton. And I think this is the kind of guy who just has stuff that could end up looking ridiculous. He has one primary pitch. He throws a fastball, and that fastball is fast, and it moves. It is a really good pitch. And I think we're going to find matchups where it's just he finds a crazy amount of upside. I will say this, too. Aaron Boone is playing for his job, basically. Like, it's going to be so loud there in Yankee Stadium if things go awry. They've been playing terrible baseball. And I think a guy like this, he would normally have a shorter leash. We saw him get up to 92 pitches against Miami. He had 90 pitches previous to that against Toronto. We know how tough of a matchup that is. But here are his first matchups. Miami, which has been playing, they have the second best record in the last month and a half in baseball. That's absurd. Tampa Bay, that's not exactly an easy matchup by any means. Got himself into a little bit of trouble with 4 walks there. Toronto, pretty darn good. And Seattle, pretty darn good, although he still found some decent strikeout upside in that one with 7 Ks. I think we're going to find Cam Schlitler be one of those guys who finds an 8, 9, 10 strikeout game out of a bag, but is he that necessary today? I don't know. He gives you some savings for some more expensive stacks, and I'm going to try to mix him in a little bit. He's also the guy the Sims are getting to the most now, but I watched his first outing. We were texting about it. I'm just like, dude, he might mow down everybody with that fastball. It's just throwing it by people, but teams make adjustments. Also, it's just a better matchup than he's had recently, which is insane to say because it's still a really good Houston team that got better with Sanchez. But Schlittler's the guy and really nobody else. And I don't even have 10% of Schlitler.
We got a question about him in Discord. Sniffs1234 said, are you attacking? It's funny. He did say Schlitler, which, by the way, the Yankees last game, they pitched against them. They played against the Marlins, pitched against him. The Marlins broadcast called him Schlitler the entire broadcast, and it was hilarious. Not like in an intentional way or anything like that. That's just what they thought his name was, and nobody corrected them the entire broadcast. And Sniffs, anyway, did say, are you attacking Schlitler with Houston stack today, or are you playing Schlitler? So if I have to pick one side, I'm going to lean more towards the Astros side. Same. Even though he has really good stuff, it's still a small sample size too. The results have been really poor for him so far this year. He's got a 4.58 ERA, a 5.01 expected ERA, and a 5.96 FIP. His minor league numbers are really good, but that's also the minor leagues. So does he have the upside to put everything together? Like, I think you make a case for playing both sides of it when you consider that he's clearly got super substantial stuff. His average fastball velocity is 98 miles per hour so far, but the results have been so poor, and he is really struggling to throw strikes. His walk rate is at
and he's struggling to keep the ball in the yard when it does make contact. Like,
so many red flags. 12.5% walk rate, 37% ground ball rate, 22.7% home run to fly ball rate. Also in the minor leagues, even when he had some stretches where he was pitching like super well, he also was kind of a guy who had a high home run to fly ball rate in the minor leagues as well at times. So I think you make a case for both sides. What is with all these bots in the YouTube chat?
I don't know, but then they're talking about my package, so it's always fun.
It's what's bringing the bots in. Hopefully the porn bots will make a return. I like those better. Also, what NFL game am I going to be streaming right now? What NFL game? What is there?
I think the Vikings play today or tomorrow?
Do they? Not right now, though.
I don't know. My family was going to the game. I think it's tomorrow, though. Let me double check.
I know there's games today. I just think it's also stupid because I'm like,
this bot
is being irrational.
They play Houston tomorrow at 3:00 Central. So
yeah. So the games today start at 7. So I don't know what games the bot's probably posting links to Eric's package or something.
It's probably Shedeur Sanders just out here just spreading venom. By the way, if he goes over 154.5 passing yards today, I'm never going to come on these streams again. So some of you might enjoy that. Like legitimately, why is Shedeur Sanders at 154.5 passing yards today? What are we doing?
As far as Cam Schlitler goes, if you want to play some of him, I think you make a case for it. If you want to stack against him, I think you'd also make a case for it. My preference, though, if I had to pick one side, I'm going to go towards Houston just because of how much Schlittler's numbers have just been poor this year and how much upside it appears to yield to opposing offenses as well. For me in the 7K range, Eric, Tanner Bibee's pitching against the Chicago White Sox. I know that this is not the same Tanner Bibee from previous years. He is just kind of struggling to put everything together this year. With that said, despite the 4.51 ERA, he's got a 3.66 expected ERA. So it's not like this has been a totally irredeemable season for him. And he's pitching against the Chicago White Sox team that you and I have been talking about since the trade deadline is probably not going to be a potent offense down the stretch of the season. So when you get Tanner Bibee at $7,600 and also single digit owned, I think this is a good enough buy low to where I have some interest in him in the 7K range when you compare it to the other options.
Not only that, you get Kyle Teal catching, which is always nice. Edgar Cuero on the bench is a big deal. 17.5% strikeout rate, really doesn't strike out, period, relative to everybody else in this lineup. And the Luis Robert Colson Montgomery bump, it's still a thing. I've yet to bet against them yet, which is really frustrating, Greg, because like every day I'm just like, oh, I can't wait to use all this White Sox analytics that I'm breaking down every night. And then it's like, well, shit, it's these idiots like Tanner Bibee, 5.5 strikeout prop, basically even money on the over. No, thank you. Like, that's just not appealing. But in fantasy, I think it's all right to try to roll the dice on a little bit. We're kind of grasping at straws down here, if we're being honest. Like, we're talking a lot about stuff that like we're only mixing into a limited number of lineups. Like, what's the most of anybody that you have in a lineup under Zack Gallen?
Bibee.
How much?
Oh, Bibee showing up in 15% of lineups for me.
Yeah. So like, it's such a muted amount, and I get it. I think he's fine. I'd rather play him than JT Ginn. I'd rather play him than Bryce Elder. I think I like Cam Schlitler a little bit more, but as I said, I don't even have 10% of any of these guys. So like, I'm playing 50 lineups, and I don't really see a path to like playing more than like 3 or 4 of them with any of these guys. I think it's just simply they give me access to some other salaries. I'm playing Gallen. Maybe Gallen finds mega ceiling, and you get the stack that nobody else has access to. Like, I can't really think of any other reason that I'd want to like fire these guys up. And I love Drew Rasmussen. This was the spot where I thought Drew Rasmussen was going to show up a ton for me, but there's still some uncertainty about just how far he's going to go into this game. They had been limiting his innings before the All-Star break. Against my Minnesota Twins, that would have been the most epic underspot, and I didn't pull the trigger, and I'm still mad at myself because I think he pitched like 2 innings. 73 pitches last time out it's starting to ramp back up, but as good as this matchup is and as good as it is in Seattle, like just specifically in this park taking on Seattle with the strikeouts that you can find, I don't believe that he's just capable of going 85-90 automatically. And it's a bummer because otherwise he'd be by far my favorite pitcher in the range.
It's also, he's $7,900. Gallen's just $100 more expensive. Edward Cabrera is $300 more expensive. There's still pitchers. By the way, I do prefer Tanner Bibee to Rasmussen as well. So, if he was somebody that you had in a lineup, I wouldn't say he's unplayable or anything like that, but certainly not anything that I'm trying to prioritize or anything like that. One thing I want to ask you before we get to the super, super dirty, grimy punt options. If you're just playing one lineup, what would be your pitching combo in that one lineup? It's probably going to be the same one that I'm going to answer with.
Yeah, it's Skubal, Sanchez, done.
Oh, Skubal and Gallen for me.
Oh, it's Sanchez. I think Sanchez's ceiling is ginormous here. I think Gallen's is too. I agree with you. I mean, Gallen would be my third answer.
Yeah, just for me, it's mostly the cost savings that I'm getting with him as well. But yeah,
what's your single entry stack though? That's the question. Is like, for me, I have a cheaper stack, and so I don't need Gallen, and so I'm just going Sanchez.
Also, want to remind you guys, we are just about a month from the start of football season. The big Millie Maker contest over on DraftKings for their best ball. It is a $15 million prize pool, and it is barely over half full right now. Let's see, what is the overall? Yeah, it has nearly 900,000 entries into it, and it is currently just short of 500,000 entries into it to this point. So it looks like there's a pretty good chance there's going to be overlay over in the DraftKings Big Best Ball contest. And if you draft your first team right now, buy one lineup for $20, and you're going to get a second one free. Buy one, get one over on DraftKings. Take advantage of that offer because it is, a month out from football season. It is approaching quickly. If you guys also didn't see, Lofty's already done a first look show on the channel. And just a few weeks from now, we're going to be firing up our NFL DFS content, but also take advantage of the best ball contest over on DraftKings and some of the different flash offers they have as well. Like last night, Eric, I wasn't even planning on doing any kind of best ball draft, but I open up the app and you know what I see? They had a thing in there where it was a flash offer. It was do 2 drafts, get another team for free. So there's a lot of good value to be had over there. So go check out the DraftKings best ball streets. Punt options, anything that's appealing to you sub 7K?
No. There's a part of me that wants to play some Kaiwei Tang. Like, that's an actual thing. He is 5,100, but he's going to be bulk reliever. He is higher on this slate than Schlitler is in terms of home runs per 9. And he might be very, very bad. But for me, it's like, if I'm going to punt, might as well play the guy who's going to be like 1% that absolutely nobody's going to play. I'm not sure if you watched Washington play their last series, Greg. They don't exactly look enthusiastic to be playing baseball. James Wood might as well just be in Cabo right now. 1, 2, 3, Cabo! Like Charles Barkley. Like, what are we doing right now? CJ Abrams and James Wood are just not even trying. And this is as good of a pitcher's park as you can walk into. It's wild to say. I have no McGreevy interest. I have no Bueller interest. I think you're probably on board with that one too. But I think Tang is at least serviceable, and he hasn't been serviceable in one start that he had against the Mets, but like the Mets are not Washington in San Francisco.
I don't know how deep he could go into games.
He went 67 pitches his first one out. My assumption is that he has like 75 in the repertoire. And the main thing is that he's 5,100. It's not anything other than he's 5,100. And like his first start was just brutal. It was in New York. It was just a spot for him set up to fail. But now you're getting Washington. This is a huge discrepancy. I'm serious when I say this. He's the only one that I have a lineup of below this number. So like, I'm not going to roster anybody else other than him, but he's in 2 lineups of 50.
Yeah, it is going to be a no from me. His minor league numbers are also horrific for his career. So I get it. He's $5,100. You're playing in like one lineup, whatever. Hard for me to really advocate for it. Here's what his minor league numbers were last year. Do you have them in front of you?
I do.
Minor leagues last year, 2024, 8.66 ERA, 6.91 FIP. AAA, 8.6 ERA, 6.66 FIP in 2024. And this year in the minor leagues, he's primarily worked as a reliever. His last minor league outing before getting called up to the big leagues, he only pitched 1 2/3 innings. That's where I'm kind of skeptical on, how deep he's going to be able to work into games. What really happened to him in the minor leagues is he was not good as a starter. So they're like, let's try him as a reliever. And he was not good as a reliever, really. And then they were just like, let's call him up to the big leagues for no reason at all. So he's up here pitching. I don't want to stack Washington against him. I don't really want to play him either. I guess if I had to pick a side, I'm probably more inclined to go to Washington. If this guy's getting destroyed by minor league hitters, I know the Nationals are down in a bad way right now, but I don't think this offense is worse than whatever he was facing in AAA ball last year.
Played in Tahoe. Like, that's not really fair. Tahoe is on the moon. You might as well put him on the fucking moon, Greg. Like,
I mean, he still was putting up 9 ERAs and striking out 17% of the hitters he faced.
Yeah, I mean, he throws a cutter slider. I mean, he's not very good. He's not generating any swing and misses with cutter slider as his primary two. It's probably a bad sign. He doesn't really have anything there, but against lefties in 7 2/3 in the majors, 295 WOBA, you're getting the major two hitters in the Washington lineup. They're lefties. We all know that. Like, for me, it's just simply he's 5,100, completely off the board, and he's in the best pitcher's park in baseball. Like, I think that's the only reason. I don't think he's good. I'm not trying to defend him as being good. I'm just trying to defend the fact that he's 5,100. He's supposed to be the bulk reliever, taking the majority of innings of any pitcher for San Francisco today, and Washington blows.
Let's talk FanDuel for a second here. And honestly, the really easy answer here is just play a lot of Skubal over on FanDuel. He's 30% owned at 11K. I think he's by far the best pitching option. Play him in cash games. However, GFY Fantasy says low-owned sleeper pitcher over on FanDuel. So there's only 2 pitchers on FanDuel pulling ownership. Zack Allen's 15% owned. Skubal's 30% owned. Eric, I assume your answer for a sleeper pitcher is going to be Christopher Sanchez.
That's the guy by a mile, by the way. There's nobody else that I want to roster on FanDuel other than those 3.
Edward Cabrera stands out to me a little bit there. He's 1.9% owned on FanDuel. Tanner Bibee is 4% owned against the Chicago White Sox. Those are a couple other sleeper guys to throw out there. By the way, guys who I like at low ownership on DraftKings as well, but super low ownership on them on FanDuel. In general, Skubal, Zack Allen, a little bit of interest in Christopher Sanchez and Hunter Brown, and then contrarian shots on Bibee and Edward Cabrera at their nearly non-existent ownership. That makes a little bit of sense to me as well. Is there anything else on FanDuel that's wildly different from what we talked about on DraftKings? Because I view it being pretty similar.
Pretty similar. I mean, I'm not getting away from the top tier. I guess the question for you is, like, we have Gallen there, we have Bibee. Like, Gallen's cheaper than Bibee. How, like, if that got extended to like 15.8, I wouldn't be completely shocked. We've seen that happen a number of times on FanDuel where it's like, oh shit, like we thought everybody was going to go to Bibee as well, and nobody did. Like, I think Bibee might end up getting squeezed because Skubal, Brown, I think we have underprojected slightly based on what I'm looking at elsewhere. And then Zack Gallen is cheaper than Bibee. I think this might be the spot I roll out Bibee purely because I don't love his strikeout stuff as is, but like, his upside is generated a little bit by just pitching deeper into these games. Like, I think he's probably more appealing for FanDuel than DK for me.
Let's talk some stacks. And if you guys haven't done it yet, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to join any of the packages back here at Stokastic, link is down below in the YouTube description box. Gets you access to our Discord channel. And Cream has a question geared specifically towards you, Eric. He wants to know, do you like your Twins today? Because Cream is liking your Twins. How do you feel about Minnesota? One of the teams that's showing up most prominently in the Sims.
Yeah. So Seth Lugo, he deserves max pain. This is a guy who has nearly a 5 expected ERA, who has a 3 actual ERA. We're talking a 2 gap. He got paid for this. Like, does Kansas City look at advanced analytics? Do they understand what they're doing with money? You have money. You don't have that much money as a small market team as is. You have to pay Bobby Witt infinity dollars. You have to figure out what you're going to be doing with some of these future pieces. Like, I mean, I know it hasn't gone well for Jack Caglianon, but eventually you're going to see him come up to the big leagues and stay around. This is just a Kansas City team that makes no sense to me, but Seth Lugo got paid and now he must pay for his sins. And it is 90 degrees, low barometric pressure in Minnesota as well. Everything kind of lines up for him. And I love the fact that every single day, Wallner and Clemens and now Keishel, people are starting to see how good this kid is. He was the reason that we're all right kind of parting ways with a lot of these older veterans and a lot of, the money that we had tied up to Correa. Like, you bring Keishel in there every single day with Brooks Lee, that should be our infield for the next 5 years. I hope it is. I hope that's our infield for the next 5 years. I love what we have kind of waiting in the wings. And I love the fact that we have less pinch hit risk for guys like Wallner, for guys like Clemens every single day, because Austin Martin sucks. Like, Austin Martin's going to pinch run for somebody at some point, maybe. And then Trevor Larnock's coming off the bench, but he's from the left side. So, like, Mickey Gasper is about the only guy who's got risk of potentially getting removed from that game, switch hitter, but going to be better from the right side. I will say this. I'm on the over of the game. It was one of my 3 bets from last night on Lindy's, and I still feel pretty good about it. We're going to get closing line value on it. I just don't love them to win, because I do think part of my analysis was just, I don't expect the Twins to roll out Joe Ryan to go sink, pitch 100 pitches, 105 pitches going forward. And our bullpen has gotten not just worse, but went from being like the strength of the team to potentially the weakest part of the team over the course of like a 2-day span at the trade deadline.
I really like rostering the A's in this spot. Tomoyuki Sagano, who I convinced one of my friends his first name was Tamagotchi earlier, he is terrible. He is so bad. He's
horrendous. And lefties are going to just cripple this guy for life. What, Duke?
He's 35. He is not going to be in the big leagues for very much longer. 4.42 ERA on the surface, doesn't look great, but it doesn't look all that terrible either. By the way, these bots are driving me crazy in the chat right here. But you look at the underlying numbers, and still 4.42 ERA is not great, but he's a 5.85 expected ERA, a 5.07 FIP. He's a 40% ground ball rate with a 14% home run to fly ball rate, 0 swing and misses, 0 at all. He's a 15% strikeout rate. And then he's going up against a team that has a lot of power in the offense, like the Athletics. I have a handful of A's that I bet to homer today, Eric. I bet Brent Rooker to homer. I bet Shea Langoliers to homer. Got a pretty good price on it earlier in the day. It was one that I had posted right to the tails feed. I bet him at plus 375 to homer. Last I'd looked, Langoliers was like plus 330 or something like that.
You didn't even name the guy I bet to homer on the A's, Tyler Soderstrom. He was plus 450 at BetMGM. I got him at plus 472. I think it wasn't NoVig. Tyler Soderstrom's my favorite out of everybody there. I mean, just give me all the lefties batting 5th today. Also, his hits plus runs plus RBIs. That is the cornerstone of every single pick'em card that I rolled out today. I had a feeling that we were going to get something quirky there. We got Cortez leading off. I love getting Shea Langoliers in his current iteration right in front of Tyler Soderstrom as well. Like, everything looks great for the A's. I mean, the A's should just annihilate his soul.
Just pulled it up, by the way. So I bet Langoliers at plus 375 on FanDuel right now. It is 285. Shea Langoliers is down from. So another reason, by the way.
Wait. He was expected to lead off, and now you're getting a way worse number batting cleanup? What in the world? That makes no sense.
Well, the number wasn't necessarily priced for him to lead off. It was just the price was just off. He was just way more likely.
Period.
Regardless, if he was batting 9th, the price was off, considering the opposition here against Tamagotchi Sagano. So I mean, I think everybody's live homer, top to bottom in this lineup for the A's. So I really like them as a stack. If you look at the exposures here from the Sims, pretty spread out. The teams that are showing them most prominently, though, are your Minnesota Twins, the San Francisco Giants, the Baltimore Orioles. Outside of the teams that we've mentioned, the couple that you and I have pointed out as our favorite stacks, who else are you really prioritizing at offense? Because the reality is, if you're playing a bunch of lineups on a slate like this, you're going to have a ton of teams show up in like 3 to 5% of lineups, something like that as a stack. Who are the ones that you really, really want to be prioritizing, though?
Yeah, my single entry team is Miami today. I'm obsessed with the Miami Marlins. I was last night. The problem is that the Marlins, I do think this price is kind of like off relative to where I thought it was going to be from a betting perspective, but from a DFS perspective, I get to go up against Bryce Elder at super low ownership. Everybody's low owned on a 14-game slate. So you can kind of like pick and choose your spots. And I think Miami is just due to annihilate Bryce Elder. This guy has a 5.14 FIP, 6.03 ERA, 19.5% home run to fly ball ratio, 1.63 home runs per 9. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous. The one thing about Bryce Elder, too, is that his ground ball rate is better than you would expect, and yet he has a long ball problem. So what happens is you get a lot of these stacks that just go completely ballistic on him. And then, similar to what I talked about a second ago, like, I don't think this bullpen for the Braves is anything whatsoever. So once you even get rid of Bryce Elder out of the equation, you're in a pretty good spot, especially if you're getting those middle relievers from Atlanta. I mean, look at who they're rolling out as starters on a day in, day out basis. It's the most ridiculous ensemble of misfits. Cookie Carrasco hanging out there. Joey Wentz having a cup of coffee there. What is going on in Atlanta? How did things fall this far away? But like, I'm all right with it. Go Miami. They continue to be, I think, one of the sneakier teams in baseball, and hopefully the top of that lineup can do some work today.
Yeah. And once again, there are a lot of teams you could potentially be considering for today. One other one that I do want to point out, they are towards the top here of the Sims exposure. The Baltimore Orioles going up against JT Ginn tonight.
Yep.
There are still individual talented hitters in this Baltimore Orioles lineup. I know the season has not developed in the way that I think that many people thought they were going to be going so far this year. But Ginn is somebody who his numbers aren't great this year, but they're also kind of deceptive because he's made about half his appearances out of the bullpen this year. 4.28 ERA. He does have a 4.89 FIP. And another one of these guys, 23.8% home run to fly ball rate. It's a little inflated because he's making half of his appearances in Sacramento, but that is still a massive number. And last year, pitching in Oakland. So think about how favorable of a pitcher's park Oakland was. He still had a 12.1% home run to fly ball rate pitching in Oakland last year. And if you look at his minor league numbers, he never in any single season of his career in the minor leagues had a home run to fly ball rate in a full season under 11%. So I think this is a guy who's probably pretty prone to allowing home runs. And that's why I think the 23.8%, not entirely fluky this year. So the Orioles at their price points, I think that is a pretty reasonable place to be going to. Any other offenses you really want to focus in on, Eric? If not, we'll build some lineups.
Yeah, I think the Cubbies, every single time Max McGreevy out there, that's going to be an interesting one to me, even though they're way off the board, mainly because they're expensive. It's really hard to make that lineup work. By the way, Wood and Abrams out there. Wood is leading off today. I mean, they're just trying to make anything work there. Go this random Korean guy that I'm going to apparently play in 2 of my lineups. So there we go. Go team. I think the other one that I find to be somewhat appealing is the White Sox. Is there a team that you feel like you're getting better leverage than attacking Tanner Bibee today? Like, is there another pitcher that's pulling ownership that you feel better off taking shots against than Tanner Bibee?
So I missed almost all of what you said because my internet glitched out while the single lineup sims were loading. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, here you go. White Sox against Tanner Bibee. Is there another pitcher pulling ownership that you would rather stack against than Tanner Bibee?
He's not really pulling ownership, though.
I think he's going to.
Possibly. Let's see. All right,
like
let me refresh
the
our
popular
ownership.
pitchers. I'm not stacking against Skubal. I'm not stacking against Brown. I'm not stacking against Sanchez. I've actually been a proponent of stacking against Brown. It's too large of a slate to do it. I don't know. I feel pretty good about stacking against Tanner Bibee there.
I mean, how popular do you think he's going to be where you're actually getting significant leverage?
It's a good question. If he gets into the 15% range, if we see his ownership come up a little bit, like on FanDuel, it's probably a little bit more applicable for the people playing over there today than what it is over on DK. He's pulling 19% ownership over on DK at the moment, like where it's a 2-pitcher site. So it's a little bit different, but I could see Bibee getting north of 20% and feeling pretty good about having some White Sox backs. It was like Roberts actually got a pulse, and Colson Montgomery's like confirmed pretty good at baseball. Andrew Benintendi, I've always thought he was better than people labeled him as with the Red Sox, with the Royals. Like, he's not some dynamic player by any means who's going to hit 30, 40 jacks, but like, he's a really good baseball player. Like, I just think it's an interesting stack to get to if you get Bibee ownership.
I just don't think he's going to be popular enough for me to really look to get leverage.
Okay.
I'm usually looking to stack against pitchers who are like, if I'm getting real leverage, like anywhere like 30-ish% owned or something like that. And it just doesn't really exist on this kind of slate. If you just like the White Sox as a team, all right, Bibee hasn't been terrific this season, but he's not high enough owned to where I think I'm getting good enough leverage to want to be stacking them just for that purpose. We got a super chat here from Joski24. Thoughts on the Dodgers for FanDuel GPP going up against Max Scherzer, a game that you could be going to, but seem like you are not going towards that way at the moment. The main issue that I have with the Dodgers is the matchup against Scherzer. It's clearly not as difficult as a matchup as it would have been a couple of years ago, but Scherzer still has a little bit left in the tank. It's not like he's completely washed, and the Dodgers are really expensive. So it is kind of hard to go out and make lineups where it's like Dodgers, Skubal, and then fitting in another pitcher as well. And once again, Scherzer's numbers this year, he's got a 4.39 ERA, but a 3.66 expected ERA. You know, he's like a league average to slightly above league average starter at this point in his career. The Dodgers are still really expensive. I'm not really dying to roster them. Do you feel differently?
No, I feel the exact same way as you.
Yeah, a lot of other more cost-effective options to choose from. So let's build some lineups. We'll build a lineup for DraftKings. We'll build a lineup for FanDuel. Eric, I will let you pick the stack that we're going to build with over on DraftKings.
So maybe I'm underselling it a little bit. My favorite game to target, period, is the Baltimore A's game.
Same.
I think it's my favorite game to target on the entire slate. I didn't know that was the same for you. Here's the annoying fucking part, Greg. Baltimore. Who are you playing at first base on Baltimore? Because there's 3 of them. And I'm losing my mind trying to figure out what I want to do with them here before lock. It's the only thing I'm going to change in my lineups between now and lock. But you have Noda, you have Mayo, and Ryan Mountcastle comes back. I have no clue what to do here. I mean, that guy hasn't played since May 30th. Who do you like to play at first base from Baltimore?
Ryan Mountcastle. By the way, I mean, I said my 2 favorite stacks are Baltimore and the A's. So
I didn't hear that part.
Just kind of makes sense that these would be the spots that I also kind of like to be stacking. But yeah, we'll make a Baltimore stack on DraftKings. They'll make an A's stack over on FanDuel. But yeah, I like Mountcastle the most. And then let's see. Let's sort by the projections and see who else do we think from Baltimore is going to be most important to get into lineups. I'm going to say Gunnar Henderson at $5,400. Also going to add in, I'll go to Jackson Holiday at second base. We got Mountcastle, Holiday, Gunnar Henderson. Who are the other 2 Orioles bats you want to put in here to fill out this lineup?
Jordan Westburg, we can play at third base. You can't play Kobe Mayo over there, right? He's also one of the first base guys. So yeah, it's got to be Jordan Westburg.
Okay. So let's go to Westburg, who's going to fill in at third base, considering that we already have Jackson Holiday at second base. And then Rushman at catcher.
Yep. Love. Whole outfield to work with. That is rare. And I mean, it makes sense because Laureano and Mullins aren't there. So obviously the outfield doesn't look as good, but it is useful when you can kind of like in single entry, you can do whatever you want in the outfield now.
All right. So had the lineup auto filled out by the optimizer, and we had Skubal and Gallen as the pitchers, and then the rest of the lineup filled in with Carlos Cortez, who has, I mean, I think this is the best value hitter on the entire slate. Cortez is 20. You mentioned him a little bit as well when we were talking about the A's, but
yeah, him and Hernandez is the other guy that I really like at 3K, batting 6th for the A's. Love both of them.
So we got Cortez at $2,500 leading off, also only 4% owned. We've got Matt Wallner and Alan Roden as well. So we got a 5-man A stack with a 2-man secondary stack of the Minnesota Twins. I dig it.
Good stuff.
Let's run it and see what we end up getting.
Good stuff. No whammies, 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 and
Great
stop.
lineup.
Oh,
Great
let's
lineup.
go.
Great.
That
Very
is
great lineup.
God, 7 inches of greatness, I tell you.
There we go. There we
Purchase
go.
my package.
Or as Eric calls, centimeters, but being generous. All right, so that lineup looks really good. Let's build one of the A's over on FanDuel now. All right. What hitters do we want? What hitters do we want from the A's?
Before the show on FanDuel, and the wild one, the one that's completely different, the Dodgers are showing up a lot for me on FanDuel too, for what it's worth. That was the one team that I don't have on DK, so expensive. But on FanDuel, they are easy to get to, and you can only play 4 of them. So wanted to bring that up. They would be the team that I'd want to build this out with if we weren't doing this. But yeah, A's, Nick Kurtz. Hi, how are you? 4,100.
All right, we got Nick Kurtz at $4,100. I'm also going to throw in Brent Rooker at $3,400. Now you pick one, then I'll pick one.
Well, I'll take my guy, Tyler Soderstrom. You can play him outfield on FanDuel, which I double checked just for you because I knew you wanted Shea Bebe. That's my song.
No, I don't want, because we've already got Kurtz in the lineup. I don't want to have Langoliers then taking up a utility spot. So I will go to, let me sort by our projections. Let's see. I am going to fill in the lineup with a 3K Lawrence Butler. Now I'll complete the lineup. See what ends up filling the rest of it out. All right, so we got Gallen ended up being the pitcher in this lineup. Then we've got Ketel Marte. We still ended up with a couple of Orioles in the lineup and Jordan Westburg and Gunnar Henderson. And then, I like this a lot. All right, so we got a 4-man A's stack with a 2-man Diamondback stack and a 2-man Orioles stack. I dig it. Let's sim it.
I like it a lot. Oh, we're going to look so good, Daddy. Wait for it.
Another good one. Not as good as the other one. The other one's going to be tough to top, but this is still looking pretty solid. 28.1% sim ROI. So a couple of lineups that our data was liking at the Sims ended up spitting out as being, pretty good lineups to be rostering. So I think it gives you guys a pretty good idea of some of the things to be looking at. Let's see. What do we have? Nothing else for Discord questions. So do us a favor, guys. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. And now it is time for DOMs, which I know we've talked a little bit about Eric's package as we've gone here, but now the real dongs you guys are interested in, the home run picks. I'm going to give one out. Eric's going to give one out, and then we're going to read your guys.
Dog of the day. Dog of the day. Look at me. I'm E-Mac. I got a great song. It's Friday. Gonna drink with my friends. Maybe go to a baseball game and from my ass off. Dog of the day. Hey, hey, hey. Dog of the day.
What a return from Puppet Lindquist. So, Eric, I want to know now, who are you picking a homer tonight?
We gave you the Soderstrom absolute geniusness. Obviously, he would be the chalk guy to go to. So I want to get a little bit different for you. Kyle Stowers, 5,600 in the outfield. I'm playing Skubal. I'm playing Sanchez in single entry, but talked about it before. Really like Miami. Bryce Elder. Oh yeah, he sucks. So we want to stack against guys who suck. And Miami confirmed not sucking here recently. So Ramirez I love, Lopez I love, but I bet and am playing in single entry. Kyle Stowers back in Atlanta where Dave Roberts made him one of the 3 guys. He led off in the old National League home run derby tiebreaker, whatever you call it. Kyle Stowers goes yard.
I'm not deviating. Shea Langoliers, that is my home run pick. I am sticking to it. First thing I bet this morning. Going with Shea Langoliers. Let's see what we've got from chat. Opening it up, Tom Olson is going Matt Olson. Eric 20. Oh, this is crazy. Eric 20, who might be you, is going with Stowers as well. It is really funny because it is often that Eric puts his pick into YouTube chat before you give out yours. And there must be some like Eric to Eric mind reading trick or something because he's got Stowers in here as well. Jeff Williams.
I have a betting ticket. Stay away from me. Me. Hands are away from the computer.
Jeff Williams has got Nick Kurtz for 2 homers. EMAC is going with Ketel Marte. We've got Ram 33 going with Cody Clemens. Game Day Swami has Adames and Suzuki. Charles Moran is going with Tyler Locklear. We've also got Stephen Kwan from Duckman. Father Time is going with Kerry Carpenter. Comer is going with Kerry Carpenter. Josh Bell from Okeezy. Xavier Edwards from NY Stiegel. We've got Corbin Carroll from Ken Ratty. We've got Corbin Carroll as well from Sotex. Pierre's going with Bo Bichette. We've got Xander Bogaerts from Long Nguyen. We've got Aaron Hines going with Kyle Manzardo. Mike Trout from Reg Kell. We've got Greg Collins going with Isaac Collins. All right, I guess this is the new thing now. You just pick whoever you got the same last name as. Let's see. Ricardo Nelson going with Ronnie Mauricio. We've got Charles Moran going with Ryan Mountcastle, and Cameron Stubbs going with Colby Mayo for today. So, yeah, that's going to do it for all of the home run picks. One more time, guys, thank you very much for watching the show. Like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and don't forget, go check out DraftKings Best Ball. They're going to have Best Ball Week as well in a couple of weeks from now, where there's going to be a lot of promos going on. So Best Ball, go check it out. That is one of the best ways that you could be getting some good money. Looks like there's going to be overlay there as well. It's Best Ball season, and DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Draft one, get one. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second chance to win big. Download the DraftKings Daily Fantasy app now to draft your $20 Best Ball lineup to play for a share of $15 million and get a second ticket to play free for a share of $15 million. That's two chances to win big without ever setting your lineup again. Draft one, get one, only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY at 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions do apply and void where prohibited. One per customer. Enter the Best Ball $15 million headliner contest by September 4th, 2025 to get one bonus entry. $20 entry fee required. Reward expires in 30 days. See terms at DraftKings.com/NFL-best-ball, sponsored by DraftKings.